so we're continuing back. Our live feed has some complications at the moment, so we're continuing on channel 22. So you're pretty much done, you said?
Yeah,
If you have
I'm
questions,
done.
does the board
All
have
I
any
was
questions
mentioning
at
is
this
East
start?
Hampton.
Yes, will this program work when we don't have Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi?
We're working on that.
That's a cable.
Well, no, we'll work on the Wi-Fi. I like
Yeah,
the
that,
Wi-Fi.
yeah, that's a cable vision issue. So,
That's optimum. That's what happens when you
how
go
ironic
to a
is that we're
foreign
talking about
country and you have a
computerizing and
monopoly.
then things go
Timing, right?
away.
So I just, what I was just gonna, to ask on the one final question is that, is there like, as a resident, so if I own a piece of property in the town of Riverhead, can I go on this feature where I log on and I'm tied to my particular parcel in the town of Riverhead, and there I'm beginning, and I can choose maybe from a list to accept my water bill, my tax bill, legal notifications, press releases, anything, right, that I can get them all via email, removing me from all US mail, which is what I'm looking for. Like, can that component eventually be, if it's not in there, be instilled?
We'll look into that. That's gonna be a matter of how many modules we buy down the road. Okay?
The back end has a lot of customization, so I'd
Yeah.
like to say yes, but we haven't seen all of its capabilities.
I think it's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially that, like, when the supervisor release press conferences, things like that, to have notifications, or our recreation department sending out their notifications. Imagine if the recreation department can limit their mailing list as well and get things out by an email
Yeah,
through this
we've
capacity.
been talking to them about that.
So we're crawling now,
opting in on
and
that.
definitely that's walking.
Yeah.
And that should be the direction that
I just wanna make sure we select the right modules to eventually build up to that capability in the future.
Yeah, it has a lot of potential for expansion. And also some of the stuff that was raised here today, you can also design it to fit those needs as they arise or as we create. We're gonna see Hempstead, and then we're looking forward to that. They've been very receptive to our requests, and we're taking it from here, so.
Good.
Can we move forward with the resolution?
Absolutely, I support it.
Yes?
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Bill.
Bill,
Thanks,
have a
Chip.
good
Thank
day.
you. I'm gonna say no, KNOW.
Okay, for our next discussion, we have our planner, Greg Berman. Can you please come forward to discuss matters surrounding a special permit application for Sandy Pond Links at 1495 Roanoke Avenue? And good morning, Greg, and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you, sir.
We do have Kim Judd and Earl Trulin here on behalf of the applicant. They want to come up and...
You got one more?
Come forward. Thank you.
I never met Earl Trulin, but we have, Bob Nolan from,
You use nicer paper.
Hi, how are you? Welcome.
Hey,
how are you, sir?
How are you?
All right, so,
Good morning.
thank you. Good morning.
Hi, Kim.
Hi.
Kim.
Good to see you again, Kim.
Nice to see you all too.
Okay, so,
So we've got a special permit and a site plan application that were submitted concurrently. This is a special permit application before the town board seeking to expand a pre-existing non-conforming use. This is a existing 9-hole golf course. There's a small little pro shop on site. It's located at 1495 Roanoke Avenue in Riverhead on the west side of the road. They are proposing to construct a new 18-hole mini golf course. They are going to construct a new 62-stall parking lot, install exterior lighting, stormwater management, curbing and sidewalks all along the frontage of the property with Roanoke Avenue, which is nice because right now it's sort of just a free-for-all getting into the site. As well as new curb cuts on Roanoke Avenue. So the special permit is under the jurisdiction of the town board, and the site plan will require approval from the planning board. The project site is approximately 17.6 acres on the west side of Roanoke Avenue. It is a type 1 action pursuant to secret, as it is a expansion of a pre-existing non-conforming use. It's mainly local local agencies that are involved agencies. We do have to send the planning commission a referral, as well as the DEC, because they have jurisdiction over the SWIP and the Speedies approvals. We did receive plans from Young and Young. I have them on the board there. They are also available on the website. I do note that on the property, sometime between October 15th of 2022 and January 3rd of 2023, the applicant did remove large swaths of trees along the southern end of the property and the southeastern corner of the property. On page 3 of the staff report, you can just see the images. One's from October 15th, one's from March 19th. And on page 4, I did go out while the clearing took place. This clearing effectively removed any existing vegetative buffers with that single-family residence, which is located directly to the south of the property. So I'm going to recommend that the applicant come up with a revegetation plan to revegetate these areas.
It looks like also the clearing was on the golf course as well. Tell me a little bit about this, unless,
Yeah, this will be here.
but
Yeah, so there were two major points.
clearly this,
The block.
clearly on the existing golf course as well, this
Yeah, it
thing's
was,
done?
yep, on some of the, dunes that those trees were not maintained.
When was the
What
clearing
is the
done?
structure here? Is this a lake?
That's
Drainage
just,
area?
that's a water feature on the pond. I'll actually get to that because I think that's a critical piece. There are some drainage issues, not necessarily issues, but something I want to address through the report.
Greg, when was the clearing done?
Sometime between October 22 and March of 23, I believe it was sometime
February.
February.
So there's no permits or anything filed for the clearing, just
No,
took it upon herself?
yeah,
He did it, the client was issued a violation, appeared in justice court. He does plan to do a revegetation plan. He did submit a clearing permit after the town had issued the stop work order. And Brian Stark's not here today, but if he were here, I think he would tell you, and this is no justification, he would tell you that a lot of these trees in here were dead locust trees. Some of them had fallen down on a car, and he removed the dead trees pursuant to the advice of an arborist. But we do plan to do a revegetation plan to
In the
Screen.
woods it fell on a car? Where's it parked?
no,
was that was that
no.
over here?
but, in the grown-up, tennis court area.
I have one
Do you
concern
remember where
here.
the tennis court used to be?
Yes, yes, yes.
It
How-
was disastrous.
There was no request to receive a permit for the clearing, and now you're coming for a site plan 5, 6 months later. I'd like to know the extent of the clearing that you did.
We did submit a clearing permit application to the building department. It's been pending for a few months. We submitted it the week that he was issued the violation, after the violation, so that is being reviewed by the building department.
Okay, but you're here for a site plan, and I'd like to know how much clearing has occurred.
Okay,
I
I'll
don't
ask
have any
the,
indicator of the clearance, and, you know, a permitting was done, you submitted a permit after it was removed, and so that's not the way that we should operate clearing, properties in this town.
no, my
And
client understands that.
Yeah, and I fully understand that because, I have no idea, I'm not gonna go forward with the site plan until we fully
Well, this-
understand the extent of the clearing, what the permit says, and what actually happened.
So will
we
the
need-
site plan show the replenishment of that? Is that?
So
are we
I
getting to
do
that
have,
on-
when the applicant did come in, as the board's aware, they had those old, one-story cement block buildings that were kind of used for industrial storage, et cetera. So when they came in for a demolition application for those commercial buildings, we do have a survey that shows the limits of, wooded areas on the property. So we do sort of have a baseline of understanding as to where the limits of the trees were. Again, it puts us, we're sort of operating at a disadvantage. We have no way to validate if the trees were healthy or not, if they were diseased, if they were, how they were maintained. So it just puts us sort of behind the ball in that there's no way for us to validate the condition of the existing vegetation prior to the removal.
When was the permit, submitted to the town?
It was the week that the violation, I don't know the exact date, but it was the date after the stop work order was issued by code enforcement.
Early
So
February,
you,
I think.
okay.
So Heather would know this better than me, but I know locust trees do not last long. I know somebody that lost 4 of them. So I'm aware that locust trees have a huge problem. Is the revegetation plan in here?
No, we have to
they need to
submit
come up
one.
Oh, yeah, that would be good to see what the revegetation plan is.
Yes.
Therefore, I don't think this application, this report is complete until we solve the amount of clearance.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't
And the
move
plans.
forward with any public here. I wouldn't,
Yes.
I wouldn't recommend
And a
either the
plan-
board or
and
the
a plan
planning
for
board take action
revegetation.
in the absence of that revegetation plan.
So, Greg, we're gonna ask you to please, look into my questions. And-
Oh, he did, he put it in there, it's all in there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's in the report, the aerials, I mean, we're,
Yeah.
yeah, we do understand the extent.
We are going to do that, and
Okay.
we do have, we are working on a revegetation plan that it will be submitted in a timely fashion.
And just to note, the site plan fee per town code was in the absence of the clearing permits. The site plan fee will be doubled, so there will be a financial penalty that will be incurred. So Councilman Rothwell, to touch on the question of that water feature, I looked on Town GIS, and I included a picture, just a screenshot from on page 4. On page 4, you can see there's purple lines and some green dots. That is the location of existing drainage infrastructure. I did reach out to the town engineering department, just to see the nature of this system. I spoke with Ken Testa. He seems to recall about 20 years ago, there was a problem with drainage from that farm field up on the north, to the northeast of this property.
Anderson's farm, yeah.
There was basic, like, sheet flow was coming off of that, so I think there was some coordination between the property owner at the time, which I believe was Bryce Buckholz. There was some coordination with the town. He's just working on getting me some diagrams, and once I have an understanding of how that drainage system works. Right now, I'm not sure if it's taking water from the right-of-way into that water feature or vice versa. But in the absence, the applicant did submit a title report. I didn't see any easements or, anything that was recorded on the property to really formalize the existence of those drainage structures. We'll do a little bit more research, but I would definitely recommend that we formalize any sort of drainage easement over that portion of the property.
That's just like a bridge or something going on over there?
Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah, it's
little-
just the
little
old,
footbridge, yeah.
So, but what was done to the water on either side? I mean, because looking at the two photographs, the prior and the current photograph, was the water dredged or?
We
cleared out?
cleaned up some of the cattails that were in there.
So you pulled out?
Yeah.
Does that involve anything with the DEC?
No, it's not a DEC.
It's not a
Regulated.
wetland or
No.
regulated in any way, shape, or
And
form?
are those ponds lined, do you know?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
I would say no.
No,
Yeah, I would say
because
no.
as as the water flows in from Roanoke and that drainage comes in, the ponds go up and then they go
Yeah.
down.
They're lined with a few of my golf balls. but,
Yeah,
you know, but they have
No, you use the plastic ones, they float.
no, mine sink. 'Cause I've been seen in that water trying to retrieve them.
I'm just curious, what's the property directly north of you is some kind of, I think it's Bob Terry?
it's still, right, so
Is
that
it
Bob
that's the
Terry-
prior owner still owns that?
Oh, this is a confusing
Oh, okay, no,
issue.
And this is
Okay.
gonna come out in the planning
Okay.
board review.
Yeah,
I'm
if you
just
go,
curious.
if you go to, let's see, I'm trying to look to see. if
I don't
there's
think
a
I don't think I have a full, so
You
basically,
see a little bit right here on page 5, a little bit of 5, you see the sand pit that's located
Right.
to the north. Several years ago, so we represent the contract MD. We're Sandy Pond Links, we're in contract with Riverhead Cement Block to purchase the property. I would say before 2019, the Riverhead Cement Block, this was all one lot. This lot, the golf course and the sand pit.
Right.
The current owner deeded off the sand pit lot to
Terry contractor.
Terry Contracting without any subdivision approval. As a condition of the sale, Terry Contracting was to come back in here and formalize the deed off. And they did get a preliminary resolution from the planning board, and they got their health department approval recently. I'm told that they're going to be coming back to the planning board for final approval of the subdivision to formalize it. So as soon as that subdivision is recorded in the county clerk's office, we will close with Riverhead Cement Block on the golf course parcel.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
yeah, that subdivision was actually one of the first things I worked on when I came back here back in 2016. It was done in late 2016. So that, it's really more of the planning board issue. I didn't want to get into it too much because it's not really
I just had,
pertinent to
I
the
was
special
just
permit.
curious.
But that will come up during the,
Now, I live near there and I pass by there at least twice a day. and I've noticed mounds of sand. Is there any kind of mining going on?
But it's not us.
That's not
That's
them.
not us.
No, that's on the
Oh,
northern
that's on the
piece.
adjacent
That's on
property? Okay,
Bob
'cause
Terry.
I see.
Oh,
I
we see
know-
it too.
Yeah, you see it too?
And that site has been mined, and I mean, there's a C&D processing
Oh, there
facility
is.
there. I mean, that's been there for quite some time.
Yep, so what originally had happened when the Buckholz, Riverhead cement block, cement, where the golf course is now, was basically out of sand. They moved on to that next part of the property, and then they said, well, what are we gonna do with the sand pit?
Yeah.
So Bryce at the time said, I like golf, so he built a golf course there.
Can I just ask one question? You said it's an 18, isn't this an executive course?
This is 9-hole current.
That's
We're
right.
discussing to put an 18-hole miniature golf putt-putt in. That's what this is.
Correct.
Mini golf.
Correct.
Mini
They're not affecting the 9-hole
Oh,
no,
golf.
oh, that's right.
The
mini-
regular golf is always gonna
Okay.
stay, but it's a
It gives you
one-way,
an opportunity.
You're gonna have
rating.
windmills and all that stuff?
Yeah.
I hope
Clown.
you do.
Yeah,
Are you looking at the Tiger Woods,
Well,
what he's doing down there in Florida?
I think it's more of an Adam Sandler
We don't
course.
have
where-
that
how about-
budget. You remember, wear flip-flops and t-shirts.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Adam
I
Sandler
do
for the-
welcome more golfing
That's
in
right.
the town of Riverhead. I think this is already starting to be a golf mecca, so I think
It's
this
also
is.
a way of us bringing in the revenue
Yep.
generating, so we keep the fees low at Sandy Pond. Right now, it's $15 for seniors, $18 for the general public. So
And you
one-
get military discounts.
And, yep,
That's
and the
important.
military gets discounts, and we do senior, memberships and regular memberships too, but to keep it low, we gotta figure, we
What
don't,
do you consider senior? Is it 62?
60,
Oh,
yeah.
all right, so this is a great project, however, we need some more
Yeah,
information on permitting,
we're definitely going
clearings before a public hearing.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
So just to get down to some of the details of the location of the mini golf course, as you can see on the site plan, the mini golf course is situated really on the northeast corner of the property. It's in very close proximity to the property line, maybe like 10, 15 feet off the roadway. They do have sufficient space to slide that golf course back. I don't think it's necessary for it to be right on the roadway. I mean, you do have single-family residences located directly across the street. I think they can push that back, provide some additional, vegetation, screen it from the, view of the roadway.
We're okay, the client's okay with pushing it back, we're gonna.
God, just paving that parking lot would be a huge thing. I think it's like a whole city over there.
So the parking area, like I said, is going to be 62 stalls. They will be paved. The stalls are all 10 by 20 as required by code. Based on the town's parking schedule, the 9-hole golf course and the 18-hole mini golf course requires 2 stalls per hole, so the site would require 54 stalls. They're providing 62, so they're exceeding what's required. They do need to provide a trash enclosure area per code.
Dumpster, what page?
Yep, that's on 6.
Okay, thanks.
So dumpster enclosure, they'll need to show on the site plan. They do propose street trees along Roanoke Avenue, and some, right now proposed are convex holly along Roanoke in front of the mini golf course. Again, I think, pushing that back, which they've said they're amenable to, put some additional vegetation on the street frontage with that. All the exterior lighting proposed, they're proposing 20 pole-mounted lighting fixtures in the parking lot, 16 feet above grade, which complies with the code. And this kind of ties into some of the special permit criteria. I don't want to jump around too much, but regarding just hours of operation of the course, one of the special permit criteria, I believe is 301, 312, subsection N. The construction, installation, or operation of the proposed use is such that there is a need for regulating the hours, days, or similar aspects. So being that it is, right now, the 9-hole executive golf course, there's no lighting on there. It's really a daytime use limited by sunlight hours. If they do plan to have lighting on the mini golf course, I mean, obviously families are going to be coming there, and probably is expected to be more of a nighttime weekend kind of use. One, they'll need to show the lighting on the golf course. But if the board, I don't know how heavily the board would want to consider regulating hours of operation, but it is, you do have residences right across the street. You could have you'll have families there, kids, there could be some noise. So I don't know if the board wants to get into talking about hours of operation.
We
Can I
are
have
a
a buffer?
low-light city, town,
Oh, well,
right, so.
we understand that part, but I don't know of and maybe I'm wrong about this, I'd have to research, does the town board regularly regulate hours of operation of golf courses in the town of Riverhead? I know the current 9-hole golf course is not regulated to hours of operation. I
Can we
think my,
research what the mini golf was up on Route 58 where Riverhead Dodge is building now? Were they regulated?
no, they were not. They were not. I represented them
Okay.
later on, so.
I don't
and I
favor
understand that that's
regulating it
different, that's-
because it is an evening activity. You know, and a lot of times after dinner, families will go down and look to play mini golf, so.
I mean, if there's no outdoor music, I don't think it should be
Yeah.
a
No,
problem. I mean,
there'll
No,
be
he's
no
not proposing
outdoor.
any
Just that
speakers.
clown at the last hole when he laughs and I miss,
Make
yeah.
sure the laughing is turned down after
Yeah.
6.
And you're gonna have a buffer there anyway?
Yeah, we're gonna slide it back, like
Yes.
Mr. Bergman
Yep.
suggested, we'll
Okay.
slide it back, we're gonna buffer it, and we'll submit the lighting plan for the mini golf.
And I did kind of touch on that, if there's gonna be any outdoor speakers, music, you know, noise production, you know, mini golf courses a lot of times have kind of like animated features, you know, dinosaurs roar and stuff like that, so I think that's important for the board to.
Sure.
Not loud.
All right, so just again, so I'll touch on a couple of the special permit criteria. The site's particularly suitable for such use in the community. It's an existing golf course. You know, we consistently hear, and a lot of the time through the comp plan update, obviously when the mini golf course on 58, when they close that down, we constantly hear that we need family-friendly businesses, we want things for the kids. Perfect opportunity to get that going, so I do believe it is appropriate. The plot area is sufficient, appropriate, and adequate for the use and the reasonably anticipated operation. So like I said, the site is 17.6 acres. They do have some additional acreage up towards the front. I think at this point, the applicant should disclose really plans for future expansion, if they plan to provide clubhouse, snack bar, food or alcohol service, something like that. They do have a small mini golf kiosk, which will probably just be like check in, check out, get your golf clubs, get your golf balls.
Do you wanna tell what the clubhouse that you have right now, I know that you do serve some food there, but it's prepackaged, you
Yeah,
guys have
it's-
its permits for that.
Yep, we're all permitted for the, it's because the beer, wine, and cider permit that we have. So we have prepackaged salads.
And this is
snacks,
not
and
new,
stuff
this is something that the golf course has been doing for years
like-
now.
Yeah, we're just continuing what the previous guy had did. Yeah. We
So
don't-
this,
There's no full kitchen, it's just snacks.
The last time that you were here, but you guys were here, they were talking about doing a clubhouse.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We have to close first, we can't even,
Okay, so the
envision-
clubhouse is a separate issue from
that's a
this.
separate
Okay,
issue,
great.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
something,
Yeah.
we've talked to Mr.
Thank you.
Bergman about it, we do envision doing
Right.
a bigger
That's-
clubhouse at some point in the future, but our client can't even see past that point until we actually close and own it.
I heard simulators maybe too.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's a
Yeah,
plan.
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah, because it's needed.
Yeah. Cedars has one, has a
Yeah.
simulator out there.
And you can't, it's hard to get into.
Yeah.
These-
As long as we can staff it. It's tough getting help.
Okay, so.
After this, I gotta go and fix ball marks on the greens.
So that pretty
Can't go
much,
set a mobile
So
home.
planning is gonna address the
yeah, so and
permitting, the
that pretty
clearance,
much touches
and the
the,
lighting, because there are residents across the street, we're gonna make sure they're not impacted.
And we've had nothing but positive feedback from all
Yes,
the
it has
neighborhoods.
been,
Yeah.
good. Yes.
How many people have learned to play golf? I don't know whether it's a curse or not for me, but I learned to play golf there. My family, my kids,
We have legislation
wanted to
in
go out
place
there and
that-
learn the game before you went and tore up another course somewhere, so.
Plus, it was very expensive, right?
Well, yeah, it was inexpensive for the family to go and learn how to play golf
Yeah,
there.
that's everything we're not.
And all the sleigh riding in the winter time on North Hill up there. It's been an icon in town for a long time.
We got legislation tracking golf carts in place now, but what about tracking golf balls? I think we don't want to require them to be tracked now.
We're not gonna look at that.
No, those are shopping carts, not golf carts.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
it's a great project.
so next steps, special permits do require referral to the planning board. So I will be putting this on the planning board's agenda for the next week, next Thursday for discussion. They
Can you
get it.
do that without a site plan? Like
So I
actually
mean,
shows the-
we do have a site plan. Again, it needs to, so,
I want to see the vegetation on it and just
yeah, no,
parking.
we're gonna address, we're gonna get the feedback from the planning board. Right now, it's just for the special permit referral. Obviously, they will need to go through the full site plan process. but the town code requires special permits to get the opinion and feedback from the planning board.
Can I ask
Thank
if we
you for
could
your
start the seeker?
straightforward answers.
Yes, and I was gonna say, I will, if the board's okay with it, I will just do up a quick type 1 resolution just to get out the secret lead agency coordination.
I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
fine
good.
with that.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank
Good luck.
you.
We'll see you there.
All right. Have fun.
Okay, so,
Hope there's not too many
Kim
divots.
required you
I
to give
mean,
veterans discounts, right?
ball
No,
marks.
they did that all on their own.
Oh, yeah,
Is it active
That's
duty
awesome.
or retired as well?
it's active right now, but
Okay,
if anybody shows us a past one, it'll be honored as well.
wonderful, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Earl.
thank you. This concludes our discussion items today. I'm gonna ask Devin to now read the, resolutions.
So I have to amend the agenda because I realized that I inadvertently left off resolutions on the agenda today, so I'll take care of that when we're back in the office, just for archival purposes, but of course, we're going to do resolutions today. All right, everybody ready?
Yes.
Resolution number 1, authorizes Recreation Superintendent to attend the 2023 NYS RPS Conference. Number 2, authorizes notice of public hearing to establish fair and reasonable sewer rent for out-of-town facilities for calendar year 2023. Number 3, offers support to the New York State Legislature to amend the real property tax law in relation to the Jamesport Fire District application for an exemption from real property taxes. Senate Bill number S.2500, Assembly Bill number A.3313.
Can we just get a little more clarification on that, or just?
Yeah, Eric can offer that for you guys?
So,
Yep.
the,
Yeah, you have to.
Good morning, and
It's
speak
public
into the
reading.
mic.
Yeah.
All right,
You have
so-
to, sorry.
The Jamesport Fire Department purchased a new property back in 2022, and they paid real estate taxes at closing. They should be exempt from, they would normally be exempt from real estate taxes. So the state senate and the state assembly, through Senator Colombo and Assemblywoman Giglio, put forth a bill to go retroactive, to forgive the taxes retroactive to the date that they purchased, similar to what we did with the Long Island Science Center last year, when they had a bill passed by the legislature to
Make that
allow
taxable.
them to make an application for exemption under the real property tax law, retroactive to the date that they purchased the property.
So that we need to, if they're gonna be tax exempt, and we're gonna do it retroactively, that means that we're gonna have to, pay the costs back to the owner, correct?
Well, so the way it works is the county will pay it back, and then it gets filtered back to us through the county.
What about the downside of taxes?
Yeah.
That's, the county repays it, and then whatever the deficiency is then, I think the way Laverne explained it, is then taken from whatever the county would normally give us for town taxes.
Okay, so
on
that's the
on
process, but the bottom line is that it's gonna cost taxpayers money, that we have to absorb a deficit in our budget.
Yes, that's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it would be that they're exempt
They should
from
have paid them
property
to begin
taxes.
Right, yeah, okay, I just wanna know for
So,
budgeting
yeah,
purposes,
this
that we're
just-
gonna
this
have a
just-
deficit on this.
So I just want,
Yeah.
the clarification I was asking is that this is a new piece of property, it's not like the pre-existing Jamesport Fire Department. This is a property that they purchased just last year in May.
This is 41 Manor Lane. So it's a new
What are they
property,
gonna
just
use it for?
Is it adjacent to their current property?
It's across the street, maybe? I don't know, I didn't look up the parcel.
Okay.
This came in from Senator Colombo last week, and we put in the resolution because it was being supported by Assemblywoman Giglio and Senator Colombo.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
they put out fires. We need to put this one out for them. Thank you.
pun intended, okay,
All right.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Debbie, can you continue, please?
Okay, resolution number 4, ratifies temporary appointment of legal representation for the Zoning Board of Appeals. Number 5, order establishing a lateral water main extension, Riverhead Water District, for the Printed Places subdivision at the property known as Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-82-1-9.8 in Riverhead, New York.
Just back up to number 4. Ratifies temporary appointment of legal representation for the zoning board of appeals. Can we get some more background on that?
Yes, I can give you that background, that concerns, the zoning board of appeals is represented by Dawn Thomas.
Oh,
And then Dawn Thomas has stepped away.
Right,
She's
okay.
acting, at the moment, she's temporarily assigned
correct.
to the building department.
Yep.
And in place, we have a very competent person to replace her, which is Anne Marie Prudenti.
Yep, no problem.
Very common.
That was
Temporary.
I think I'd like to see a
Sure,
resume or
Anne
something
Marie,
about Anne Marie
sure.
Prudenti to see
Yeah,
if she's
can we get
qualified to
resumes
do
on,
this
I agree
application process.
with Councilman Rothwell. We need
Thank
to
you.
see a resume.
I was,
Yeah,
Not
this is the
registering
classic
with me
act
what that was.
of employees working together for
Yep.
the betterment of the town.
Yeah, great.
absolutely.
Okay, resolution number 6, authorizes notice to bidders for the Holly Tree Lane Water Main Extension, Riverhead Water District. Number 7, order establishing lateral water main extension, Riverhead Water District, for the Holly Tree Lane subdivision at the property known as Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-69-3-8, 19, and 62 in South Jamesport, New York. Number 8, approves a special event Chapter 255 application for Cystic Fibrosis Foundation CF Cycle for Life. Number 9, pays the bills. Number 10, adopts a local law amending Chapter 269 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Shopping Carts.
There we go, sure, and golf course.
Number 11, appoints a fire marshal 1.
Yes, thank goodness.
Yeah,
Number 12, Water District Capital Project Number 82308, budget adoption. Number 13, authorizes the acceptance of donation of bleachers from Peconic Bay Medical Center Foundation. Number 14, approves special event Chapter 255 application for Wading River Shoreham Chamber of Commerce Duck Pond Day. Number 15, ratifies the appointment of a recreation aide to the Recreation Department. Number 16, authorizes supervisor to execute agreement with North Fork Lacrosse Club, Inc. for referee and umpire services for Town of Riverhead Police Athletic League Girls K through 4 lacrosse program for 2023 calendar year. Number 17, approves purchase of budget software.
I have a question. Usually pay the bills is the last thing.
Yeah,
Bob?
and you actually notice that that's a blank resolution, so it's a
Okay,
tough really
thanks,
to even
Ed.
have it in the
Yeah.
queue.
By the
but
way, I
that's okay.
spent many years sitting on those bleachers that they're donating to us, watching football at Mercy High School, so
And I,
very thankful to them to
yeah,
let us put them to good use.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank Amy
Where are they
Lowe
going?
for working on this. There, 2 sections are going to the Horton Park, where every year Recreation brings bleachers there and takes them back.
Right.
So Amy was great in, I've been working on this for over a year, well, for about a year. So
Thank you.
I love it that they're doing this for us.
Great. So this concludes our discussion items for today, and I'm gonna ask for, and resolutions, and I'm gonna ask for a first and a second to enter into executive session to discuss the following: contractual matters surrounding possible agreement between Town of Riverhead and Petroselli Contracting, and that would be with Prudenti; matters surrounding possible agreement between the Town of Riverhead and the Manorville Fire Department, and that would be with Howard; and personnel matters surrounding possible workplace violence harassment incident, that would be with Coyne and Stripling Tip; and matters surrounding this possible disciplinary action of an employee, that's also with Stripling TO; and matters surrounding change of title of an employee, and that's also with Stripling TO. And can I please have a first and a second to enter into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Great, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. Everyone be safe, and if you get a chance, on Saturday at the Suffolk Theater, 10 to 12, is a meeting regarding our comprehensive plan, and we encourage every member of the community to participate. It's very important. We need your input.